Hey guys, this is episode 3 of Non-Fungible Taylor. I'm your host again, Taylor Hildebrand. So, honestly, I wasn't planning on making an episode today. Biggest reason, I'm just gonna be honest, kind of feeling low today. But I told myself, you know what, this would be the perfect episode to record to show that not every day is all happy-go-lucky and positive. I don't know what happened, but I guess I did have some family stuff going on. But I woke up and I already didn't really feel up to doing anything. Went to the grocery store, bought some food, and that's about it. Just feel kind of tired. I had the whole day planned out because today's Saturday, and Saturdays are my days to myself. I had a lot planned going on. I was gonna crank out some sick ass art. I was gonna mint some more NFTs, do some photo NFTs because I got to do 3 of them this weekend, and then I still have to do my 1 cartoon a day, so I had to do one of those today. And I woke up and I was like, fuck all that shit. Like, I don't want to do anything, and there's really no reason for it. But it's real, it's honest. I wouldn't say I'm depressed. I just don't really feel in tip-top shape today. And I just wanted to let you guys know that because I'm sure everyone has those days where they literally don't want to do anything. Like, it was such a task setting up the podcast equipment because I actually have a tiny little office room that I use, and I have a really nice computer desk, nice computer, and I've got a microphone arm that twists on a clamp to my desk, and it has a bendy arm. So usually it's a pretty easy setup, but today I literally feel so fucking rough that I'm just going to podcast from the couch. I'm literally in my underwear right now, underwear and socks, because for some reason it's the middle, I guess it's the middle of fall, but it's almost winter. It's really cold out, and I'm super hot in my apartment right now. So I literally stripped off all my clothes to feel comfortable, and now I'm just laying on the couch. Literally laying on the couch. I have a second microphone stand. It's really long, and I set it up in a way where I could actually lay down while I record. But I mean, I did it, so that's kind of the important takeaway here is, even though I feel like absolute shit, I don't want to do anything. But I still found the motivation to set everything up because I'm trying to dedicate my personal time to recording this podcast and doing my 2 NFT collections. Told myself I would stick to it, and I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm not gonna let anything tear me apart from that. And I didn't always used to be like that. I talked about it a little bit, episode 1, I think, and a little bit or not yesterday, the last podcast. Talked about how I used to have some issues with motivation, and I always had a hard time staying focused and staying motivated. I would always be super motivated in the beginning of a project, and then a week in, 2 weeks in, it would die down. I would lose interest, and I'd go back to a state of doing nothing. And I was kind of afraid that that's what was going to happen with the podcast and with my collections. But I'm hoping this episode, I can't even talk. I'm thinking of scones. Episcone. I'm hoping this episode kind of, forcing myself to do this will kind of kick me back into shape. But also to kind of keep me relatable, because I'm still a human. I think that's a big part that's missing from a lot of NFT collections and NFT drops and all the Twitter accounts. people don't see the bad side of things. When things don't work out or you're not feeling up to something, you know, nobody talks about that. If you go on Twitter, I think that's a big problem with social media in general today. So you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, all you see is happy people, or I mean, you see the trolls and the people arguing, but they never look inwards and say like, hey, I'm actually fucking having a hard time today. That's what I'm doing right now. I can still be lighthearted about it, but it's true. It's honest. Having a rough day today. I don't want to bring anybody else down that's listening to this. I'll be okay, you know. I'll bounce back. I always do. But I think it's important to have these kind of slow, sad, and days of nothing, because it puts everything else into context. It does two things, I think. I think one, it makes you look internally and say, is this something I really want to do? Is this something I want to pursue and spend my personal time on? I mean, I think it is, which is why I'm doing this. And I think it also, like I said, it puts things into context. You can't have all good things without anything bad to balance it out. If you just have all good things, then nothing is good. You don't have a control group, you know, you don't have something to compare it to. If I won $1 million right now, that'd make me so happy, because I don't have $1 million. I don't have a lot at all. If I was already a millionaire, I'm sure winning $1 million would not have the same effect. You know, if I just had good things happen to me every single day, that just becomes the norm, and then you get used to it. You see it all the time. See it with rich people. I think Elon Musk sold a bunch of his shit because he was probably like, fuck this. This is the norm. Once you can buy anything, then what's the point of buying anything? It just gets all boring. So he sold all his shit. Of course, I mean, he still lived in a super expensive house compared to what I'm living in, but still. So, I mean, as much as it sucks having these bad days, I know it's going to be important for the future. And I know it's going to help me have better days tomorrow, hopefully, or the day after. I'm still going to make myself work on my art today, because that is one of my goals, and I'm sticking to that for my sake, not even for my audience's sake. If I can even call it an audience. I've gotten some feedback on these episodes, but for some reason, I use Podbean. When I go to the analytics, it says nobody has listened to it. So I'm always curious how that works. And I know these people have listened to it because they've told me specific things that I've said that I haven't told anybody about, except for in the podcast. So obviously a couple people are listening. One of the things I did want to talk about, one kind of update. So I think I talked about the Matic Mic project in episode 1, where I was an idiot and I missed the mint because I was on the wrong network. They gave me 3 free ones. So the floor price was originally 0.01 Ether. It's kind of dipped down a little bit, which sucks, but I get it because they gave away so many for free. And I think people always want free shit so they can just sell it instantly, which is exactly what's happening. But what I've noticed and what I've also done is I've seen these projects hit, or I've seen some of the Matic mics hit 0.005 Ether, and I just buy them real quick. I think so. I started with 3. I think I have 6 or 7 now, and I think a lot of other people are doing the same thing because I really like this project. I really believe in it. So I know one of the guys that's head of marketing, I think his name's Andre, or that's what his name is on Discord. He asked if there's any video editors, and I'm like, yo, I'm a video editor. That's all I've been doing since before high school. I've got so many shitty YouTube videos from high school and before high school, doing special effects and stuff. So I'm pretty good at editing. And then a year or two ago, I really wanted to be a YouTube gamer because that was the big thing. I mean, it's been a big thing for a while. But yeah, I really wanted to be a YouTube gamer. So I'd game with my friends. I'd record it. And then I really loved editing them. That was better than playing the games. I'd sit down for 5 hours straight, just zone out, focus completely on the editing until I got it somewhere I really liked. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I love editing videos. I'll do something. And we haven't met to talk about it yet, but we're supposed to be talking about it pretty soon on Discord. He wants to make some promotional video, and I want to help him. But he also suggested, because I think he's one of the guys that listen to my podcast, he'd suggested going on one of his Twitter spaces and chatting about my work. And that was the coolest thing to me, because I'm only on episode 3 and I'm still very unknown. But I put the time in and tried to build these relationships up with these people, and it seems to be paying off, you know. He's trying to find a way to fit me into the schedule, because they have a bunch of different talks scheduled, talking about different projects and whatnot. But that's going to be so cool. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to whenever that happens. I'll probably do another episode and talk about what happens. Maybe I'll even record and I'll upload a clip of it on here. That'd be cool. That's kind of what I envision myself doing at some point, because some of the videos I watch the most on YouTube are these people who interview other people do in their projects that they work on. So I think it'd be cool, because I'm so unknown and I'm so in the beginning of all this shit, trying to understand stuff. I think it'd be cool if I could get up there and talk to an audience, because I'm sure most of the people that are in that community have never done any of this, you know? They're all new to it, and there's tons of videos on how to start, but like I said, I don't think there's a lot that talk about just the mentality of it. Everyone always talks about the process and how to mint and how to create a minting dApp and all that stuff, which is great. That's part of the process. But I don't think anyone really talks about the toll that it takes, what it feels like trying to do that, the bad days like today that I'm having, the actual grinding and doing the art and trying so hard to promote yourself on Twitter without seeming like you're just shilling your artwork, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. So I'm really trying to grow my Twitter presence. I think I have like 79 followers right now. It's just so hard. Like I'm trying so hard to be myself, and I search for hashtags. I'll search for like NFT community. I'll sort by new, and I'll just look for stuff that I actually like, and I'll comment something real, like genuine, like, hey, I really like your art process. I like how you did that, like specific things. I don't ever comment a link to my stuff and I'm like, that's cool, but hey, look at my stuff. And that's kind of one of the things I learned from watching Gary V videos, is that you always got to be genuine with how you talk to people like that. Don't just spam your link. I see so many people do that. And what also frustrates me is that these Twitter accounts that always say, oh, I have 30 ETH looking to buy new projects, comment down below what I should buy. And I mean, it's just sad. Those things have so many comments, and it just makes me wonder if anyone actually buys them. So I took the slow route, and I'm being a real human being. You know, I swear, I talk to people. I've actually made some actual friends, people that comment on all my stuff on Twitter, and we actually have conversations. I had a conversation with one person on Twitter who we follow each other. It was on some sort of NFT post, and we started talking about like magic mushrooms and going to Colorado and seeing one of those festivals or something like that. We talked about Maine, which is where I live. Just all that kind of stuff. It was so cool. And I've had a few conversations like that. I saw one person who actually mints artworks that are made by their 9-year-old, which I thought was so cool. And it actually looked really nice. I don't know if it was finger painted or if it was some sort of paint, acrylic maybe. And the lighting was really cool. It had some good composition. And I was like, hey, your 9-year-old has a lot of talent. Make sure that creative flame doesn't die out. And they thanked me for it, and we talked a little bit. It was really nice. But all those interactions I have, and I still have 79 followers, which I mean, I know it's not all about the followers, but it does get frustrating because at the end of the day, I am making NFTs to try to make money at some point. That's not my main focus, as I said in another episode. I mean, making money is definitely part of it, but the other part of it is I really enjoy creating stuff. All of my characters that I design are extensions of me in some way, even if it's little. All of my photos are an extension of me and how I look at the world differently. You know, some of them are really abstract, and that's just because, you know, sometimes I see things completely different than other people. And my abstract photos are ways of me kind of showing that. So every NFT that I mint, I'm like literally minting a part of myself. And I'm, you know, how do you promote yourself without seeming like a sellout, quote unquote, you know, a sellout or a shill. You see that word all over there, all over Twitter NFT stuff. It's hard. And I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. I'm trying to be myself with my tweets. I post a lot on LinkedIn, and I literally just type out paragraphs about what I think and what I feel, what I'm working on, kind of like a shorter version of my podcast. Sorry. Sometimes I go on tangents and then I kind of halt and I forget what I'm doing, or I forget. I kind of just lose my momentum. But pretty much the only thing I've kind of done so far that's a little automated is I have this app that I use that actually tweets my tweets on a schedule. So I kind of, instead of directly posting to Twitter, if I think of something I want to say, I'll just type it up real quick and add it to the queue. And then it posts at specific times during the day. So it even posts when I'm not awake. But sometimes, rarely, I'll actually post directly to Twitter if I want to get an idea out right away. But most of the time, that's completely automated. And even doing that makes me a little weird because I don't want to feel like I'm just a robot and I'm constantly spamming. But I also want to make sure my posts get some engagement. So, you know, it's a balance, I think. It's a balance between being 100% you and 100% like a shill. And I think the balance is it's probably like 90% you and then 10% shill. And it's maybe like 90% of the post should be about me. It should be about what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. And then the other 10% will be posting, you know, a new cartoon that I dropped. Another thing I learned is when you comment on stuff, don't ever comment links, just comment pictures of your work. So that's another thing I've been doing is I'll go on Twitter, see someone talking about illustration or something. And what I'll do is I'll just comment one of my pictures. That's it. I'll literally just post the photo and I'll be like, hey, I'm looking for feedback. What do you guys think? Or, you know, hey, just check this out. That's all I ask is just look at it. Let me know what you think. Like, and I've gotten more genuine interactions doing that than when I first started out and I was just spamming my link everywhere like I said not to, which is why I said not to, because I learned the hard way. Nobody gives a shit because that's what everyone's doing. Or like, you know, OpenSea.com/collections/ and then that's all you see in all the comments. So everyone's just blends together. And I mean, one generative art, they all start looking the same, you know? People posting GIFs, and the GIF is like a bunch of different snapshots of all their generative arts. It all just blends together. It's like an eyesore. Your mind just kind of blocks all those out and you look for something that's different. It's exactly what I'm trying to do. It's just hard. Everything's hard, which makes sense. If it was easy, then there'd be no point making videos on how to do it or podcasts on how to do it and what you're doing. So I think I'm going to end it there. I got it off my chest. I feel a little better, actually. maybe this is just going to turn into my therapy sessions, just throwing it all out there and having you guys listen to it, having you listen to it. My listener, you that's listening to this right now, you are my therapist. Thank you. I don't know your name, and I don't know who or what you are. I don't know if you're an NFT artist. I don't know if you're a billionaire philanthropist, entrepreneur. Tony Stark is listening to my podcast. Bruce Wayne is listening to my podcast. That'd be insane. All these not real people. But whoever you are that's listening and enjoying this and supporting this, you mean the world to me. I mean, seriously. That it's weird recording your podcast when no one's around and it's just you laying on a couch in your underwear, thinking that someone is listening to this right now. It's just a weird feeling. It's like I'm talking into your ear, but I don't see you. You're not in front of me. I might actually take a picture of my setup and post it somewhere. I'll post it on Twitter. I really want you guys to see this setup. I'm not going to post myself in it with my underwear on, but I think it'd be great to see. So yeah, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for listening, sir or madam or something. Or dog, if you're a dog listening to this, that'd be cool. I'm going to wrap it up here. Maybe I'll try to record another episode tomorrow. I kind of want to interview my girlfriend. I want to get her take on this because I like having an outsider's point of view who's not part of the world. So I want to talk to her tonight, see if that's something she'd be interested in. If not, then the next voice you'll hear will just be mine in episode 4. So thank you, and I love you.